Ten under-the-radar moves of the NBA offseason. Live coverage. The NBA offseason started with a bang, as a handful of available All-Stars found new homes in less than 2 weeks, and more than $3 billion in contracts was handed out on the first day of free agency alone. However, with the biggest names dominating headlines, it's easy to miss some of the smaller deals between wise teams hunting bargains and valuable role players seeking a good fit. Big splashes, video by Fox Sports. Here are 10 under-the-radar deals to familiarize yourself with. The 2019-20 championship favorites rounded out a rotation that goes 10 deep by re-signing to a team-friendly 2-year, $10 million contract. While most solid rotation players are earning 8 figures, they got an absolute steal by bringing back Green, who turned down more lucrative offers at only $5 million per year. The 29-year-old fills out a bench that also includes 3-time 6th Man of the Year winner Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, Mo Harkless, and Rodney McGruder. Green, one of the game's more complete reserve bigs, shot 40.3% from deep last season and is up to 36.9% for his career. He also ranked when he's not spacing the floor on the offensive end. Green serves as a solid roll man in the pick and roll, and he's an adequate defender who can hang with smaller players on switches, all while averaging more than 22 minutes per game since he entered the league in 2014. And if either Kawhi Leonard or Paul George needs to take a night off, Green is a nice option as a starting stretch 4 between one of the all-star forwards and Ivica Zubac. As the dust settled on a free agency period that left the title chase as balanced as it's ever been, they had every reason to feel confident in standing pat. They're coming off the Nuggets had no glaring need, but a contender can always improve around the margins, and that's exactly what Denver did by acquiring from the Oklahoma City Thunder for a 2020 first-round pick. Using a trade exception created when they moved Wilson Chandler to Philadelphia last summer, the Nuggets took on Grant's $9.3 million salary, with the 25-year-old owning a player option at the same price in 2020-21. That's a bargain for Denver, as Grant should fit seamlessly into the Nuggets' plans, both now and potentially in the future. The 5-year vet with Grant can defend both forward spots and some smaller centers, shot 39.2% on May 2nd 3-point attempts last season, and is a smart cutter who should take advantage of Jokic's offensive vision. He was also honored. The Nuggets acquired an improving, starting caliber forward who's making less than $10 million for a draft pick that should land in the 20s. That's an incredible. He's a far cry from Leonard, but could be a quality pickup for a team that's still good enough to hang around the top half of the Eastern Conference playoff race. Toronto also signed Stanley Johnson, who, like RHJ, is a defense-first forward who can't shoot particularly well. Hollis Jefferson, his obvious value is in the elite defense he provides across 3 positions, but Hollis Jefferson has some playmaking chops off the dribble which help negate the offensive issues his lack of spacing creates. Taking $1 even surmises a minimum contract for Hollis Jefferson might provide more return on investment than any other deal reached this summer. Many viewed this deal as either the Josh Jackson trade or the Kyle Korver one, with the Phoenix Suns taking on the latter and then buying him out and Jevon Carter and surrendering 2 second-round picks to rid themselves of the headaches that came with Jackson. But don't sleep on Melton, the other player they acquired in this forward-thinking deal. The 21-year-old point guard is a work in progress on offense and played less than 1,000 minutes as a rookie, but his defensive potential and physical gifts are obvious. Don't be surprised the wanted Leonard or a max-level free agent to form a big 3 with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, but instead had to settle for role players. Signing 1 year, $2.6 million isn't going to garner the Lakers much praise, but there's a reason the 34-year-old has stuck around the league as long as he has. He's a career 39% three-point shooter who knows his role, knows the game as well as almost anyone on the court, and can always be counted on for an honest defensive effort. That type of two-way, after uneven stays in Charlotte, Portland, and Chicago, found his footing last season with the New York Knicks. The 9th overall, Vonleh might find a nice home in behind Karl Anthony Towns if he can continue to develop as a consistent defender and rebounder who knows when and where to move the ball. At $2 million on a one-year deal, there's nothing but upside for a big man who has yet to turn 24 years old, and it makes no sense that New York let him walk just as he started to flourish. The Timberwolves have, amid the shuffle of losing Kevin Durant, Andre Iguodala, DeMarcus Cousins, and Sean Livingston, and adding D'Angelo Russell, were somehow able to retain on a 3-year, $15 million deal. That's stunning long-term value for a young big man of Looney's caliber. The 23-year-old is a good screener and great finisher on the offensive end, as he shot 62.5% from the field this past season. He's also an elite on the defensive end. Looney can both match up with bruising centers inside and switch on the perimeter. His defensive feel, the fact that the Warriors will be paying Looney less than $5.4 million 2 years from now is an absolute steal. They had what was easily one of the best off-seasons in the league, but while Mike Conley and Bogdan Bogdanovic proved the biggest splashes, Mike's been the greatest bargain. The perennially underrated and underpaid 30-year-old has proven himself one of the game's most consistent and durable defensive bigs, especially among reserves. He's also over the last 24 years, the only players to match those two-way rebound rates are Andre Drummond and Hassan Whiteside. Davis is an overall downgrade from the departing Derek Favors, but at less than $10 million total over the next 2 years, Utah found a perfect backup for Rudy Gobert at a good price. Believe it or not, this past campaign was the first time that a 32-year-old, 10-year vet logged at least 2,000 minutes in a season. He's also never Temple's value to the Nets on a 2-year, $9.8 million deal that includes a team option for the second year isn't so much about his on-court production as it is about the stability he provides. He's a respected, the 3-year, $31.5 million contract signed with the is far larger than any of the other deals discussed above, but it still feels as though this acquisition went under the radar, as the club also added Malcolm Brogdon, T.J. Warren, and Lamb. The 12th overall pick by the Thunder in 2012, was somewhat of a two-way mess early in his career, but he quietly turned himself into a solid pro over the last couple campaigns in Charlotte. He was easily the 27-year-old averaged career highs in points 15.3, rebounds 5.5, and steals 1.1, dished out 2.2 assists per game, and often guarded the opposing team's best perimeter scorer. Lamb has also, whether starting or coming off the bench, Lamb has developed into a consistent 25-minute player who can hold his own at both ends. Locking up someone, honorable mentions: Raptors sign Matt Thomas, Pelicans sign Nicolo Melli. It's always tough to project how EuroLeague standouts will fare when they make the move to the association, but keep an eye on Thomas in Toronto and Melli in New Orleans. Thomas was considered perhaps the best shooter outside the NBA last season, as he posted astronomical. While he might not, as for Melli, the 2018 EuroLeague Finals top scorer shot 38.5% from deep last year for Fenerbahce after shooting at least 43% from long range in each of the previous 3 seasons. Melli's shooting all salary figures from Copyright 2019 Score Media Ventures Incorporated. All rights reserved. Related slideshow 2019 NBA offseason moves provided by M&A.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.